Hi, I'm Trish with CIBM Mortgage, and this is Peggy with CIBM Mortgage as well. And we're here with Nikki. Actually, yeah, we're here with Nikki because we're at the Pleasant View Realty office. This is Nikki Kapellen with Pleasant View Realty here in Sheboygan County. Thank you for joining us with the keys to your new home. And today we're going to talk a little bit about something that, wow, in this season we've been hearing so much about, which is overpriced homes. Some of the people that are getting pre-qualifications from us, and I know Peggy, you've seen it too, that they're nervous to go out and start looking for homes because they will not overpay for a house. Are homes really that inflated right now compared to 3 to 6 months ago? Like, what do you think on that?
Yeah, I can definitely understand a potential buyer's concern with list prices right now. I mean, sellers certainly want to take advantage of the market. I mean, it is a hot market. It's a great time to sell right now. But there are some safeguards in place that you don't have to worry that you're necessarily going to overpay. I mean, first and foremost, you guys talk to all the buyers about this, but we're going to include an appraisal contingency in just about every offer, so on top of our market knowledge and understanding what prices are in local neighborhoods, we'll be able to confirm, yes, this is a reasonably priced house, or sellers might be trying to get a little greedy here, so why don't we take a deeper dive at some comps and see what's out there, make sure that they're not overpaying for the house. But also on top of that, when the appraiser comes in, they're going to do a very similar approach. They're going to look at sold properties, very recent sold properties, look at the value of those and make sure that the house our buyers are buying has the value there.
So the value is as of today. I mean, it's not, it continually changes.
Absolutely.
Depending on what's selling, what's out there,
Absolutely, because they're looking at recent comps. So, as prices go up, comps go up, future values go up. So it's always changing. I think right now we're looking at a market where it's starting to level out a little bit. We were crazy. Yeah, I mean, in springtime, early summer, I mean, we got to a point where kind of the hot market was that $140,000 to just over $200,000 range.
That's what we've been seeing too.
Yeah, I mean, it was to the point where there were, 20 to 30 showings in the first 24 to 48 hours. You were working with 5, 10, I mean, sometimes 15 offers on these properties, significantly over asking. So if you averaged out the properties that sold within that time, I mean, they were 105% of list price that properties were ultimately selling for. So it was a little crazy. I mean, you look at some then, that's an average. So I think when I looked back, the largest gap in properties, the house was listed for $299,900 and ultimately sold for $355,000.
Wow.
Oh my
gosh.
Yeah, but you're not seeing that as much anymore. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, we're not seeing it as much. I mean, they're still going over asking. I think the average right now is about 101% of list price, but that does vary based on the price range too. So, properties under the 100,000 mark are generally, the 98% of list price, and same when you're looking at 500,000 and above. But kind of that sweet spot where things are still going over asking is anywhere from 100 to 350,000.
Okay.
Interesting.
But with that being said, a lot of these are appraising out properly.
For the most part, they are. I mean, we are finding a handful occasionally that aren't appraising out, but for the most part, the appraised values are coming in at the purchase price.
So I'm sorry. So as a purchaser, what happens if my appraisal doesn't come out?
I mean, we have a couple of options in those instances. I mean, we communicate a lot with the buyer and with you as the lender just to talk about what their options are. I mean, option number one, the buyer can make up the difference in cash at closing. So if, you guys tell us that, yes, they have the cash available, they're able to do that, we'll have that conversation with them. Another option is, unfortunately, we have to ask the seller to drop the purchase price to the appraised value because the lender, you guys, and the underwriters are only going to give them the loan for the appraised value. So if that's under the purchase price, we go back to the seller and say, hey, sorry, it didn't appraise out. This is a third party. We had nothing to do with it. We reassure them of that. It's not like we get to hand pick our appraisers. Or, we can sometimes meet somewhere in the middle. So the buyer brings a little bit to closing, the seller drops the purchase price a little bit, and we meet in the middle somewhere.
Wow, that's such good information. I think this was such an important topic to touch on because of what's going on in the mortgage and real estate environment right now. But my next question for you is, what sets you apart from other real estate agents?
First to start, I think my husband and I work as a real estate team. So, we work together on all of our transactions. So going in right away, you have the benefit of having two people on your side. My husband's been doing this for 18 years now, and I'm in it about 2.5 years. So, between the two of us, we have a lot of experience.
Right.
We've done a lot of transactions. Our thought is that the easiest part of real estate is listing a house or writing an offer. That's only 5% of our job. What we feel that we're really good at is all of the steps it takes to get to closing. Because there are, as you guys know, so many little items that can come up after you have an accepted offer that you really need someone on your side who has good relationships with lenders, really knows the home inspection process, the appraisal process. We have a lot of properties in the area with private wells, sanitary systems, how to work with those testers, inspectors, and companies, if there are issues, how you can address it, resolve those issues. They're just, it's every day is something new, a new challenge, a new question that pops up. So someone who has a lot of experience like my husband and I, and who has good relationships, even if we don't know the answer, we know who we can go to, and they're willing to help us and talk us through situations.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing with us today, and thanks so much for allowing us to come into your beautiful office
Yes, thanks for coming.
and interview you today, and thank all of you for joining us.